So in this video, we're just going to be creating a very basic React website, but we're going to add a bit of flair or style to it. And so in the previous video, we created a function that could parallax elements. And so we're going to use that in this video just to add a bit of style. So when you scroll down like this and we scroll back up, things are scrolling at different paces. So it creates a little unique effect that you can use for simple 3-section or simple websites. We have a button down here. We click the button. There's a rocket, little animation. There's a rocket right there. And so if any of this interests you at all, be sure to follow us on our Twitter and our Instagram. We do daily posts of what we're working on, videos coming down the pipeline for the week. So follow us there to keep up to date with this channel. And with all of that said, let's begin. Okay, so let's get this thing started. Let me show you the index.html first. So we're going to be using Font Awesome for some of the icons. So that's the line here, the link, and this is the URL to the CDN. Let me show you the normalize next. So what are we doing here? All right, so we're just importing the font we're going to use for this project. We're using that font. We're taking away the horizontal scroll bar for the body. We're taking away any sort of unnecessary margin or padding for the divs in the body. And we're just taking away the styles for the unordered list, those radio buttons. So that's the normalize. And before I forget, let me import that. Import styles. /styles normalize. S or Z? S. And let me just import the main style sheet that we're going to be using for this guy. Styles/main styles.css. Let's make that guy right here. Main styles CSS. And so we're just going to do 3 sections. We're going to get everything on the page, and then we'll go section by section. So let's start with the skeleton outline of everything. So I can delete all of these 3 lines. All right, so div main container. We said 3 sections, so section 1, give me 3 of these. Let's do some proper spacing. Space there. Let's do a space here. Section 1. And section 1 is just going to be a bunch of images, so we're just going to leave that alone for now. Section 2, we're going to have a curve on the top and a slight curve on the bottom. So let me just show you the program or the website I used to get those. They're just SVGs, so I just use this thing to craft a curve for the top, and on the bottom of section 2, it's just going to look like that. So I just use this program, and it just gives you an SVG, which I saved here. So this is the top. Copy this. Let's post this or paste this here. And the bottom SVG was here. Copy. Let me close this. And in the section 2, we're going to have a left side and a right side. So let's do this. Let's go div section 2 container and a left side. Give me 2 of those. Let's do enter, and this guy should be the right side. So that's good for section 2. For section 3, we're just going to have some text. Let's just do the general outline. So let's do a contacts section. So div contacts, and within that contacts, we'll have 3 sections in there. So let's do div, we'll do a contact section times 3. Let's do some spacing. Contact. All right. So we have all of the bare bones. Let's just fill it in with the images and stuff. And so these are the images we're going to be using. For section 1, we're going to have the stars, or did I say space? So space, on top of the space, we'll have the Earth, and then we'll have a planet. We'll do planet, and then we'll do the rocket, and then we'll do the satellite, and then we'll do the greeting message. So let's get that on the page. So it was space or stars? What is that star then? Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll do the space. We'll do space. Image.space as the background. Images /space.png. And next I said we did the Earth. Images /earth.png. The next was the rocket, the planet. We'll do planet 1. We'll just call it the planet. Yeah, we'll just do planet. And this will be images /planet1.png. We just have 2 planets, whichever you want to use. We're going to use planet 1. You can use planet 2 if you want. So we use planet 1, and then we said the rocket and the satellite. Images /rocket.png. And then we had the satellite like that, images/satellite, and then we had the welcome message. So div dot, we'll call it the greeting, and we'll just do welcome like this. So that is good for, let me close this, font. We're going to use this to get the fonts or the icons. So we have all the images on screen, good. And that's the top of section 2, the bottom of section 2. And of course, we're just going to style this so it's not so weird looking. All right. Section 2, the left side, we're just going to do a paragraph. So let's do AP lorem20, just a random string of characters. And for the right side, we'll just do a random image. So we'll do image, we'll call it the image. And we'll do HTTPS pixum. Pixum is just a random image generating site. So pixum.photos 1200 by 1200. Save, go back. So this is pixum right here. So this is the text, the random text, and the pixum. That's the random photo. And the bottom of section 2. All right, let's go to the section 3 now. So we got some text in here. Let's say sign up for our newsletter. We had an input text. We'll call it the input underscore email. And name, email, ID, email. And we have a custom button, which we're going to get to later on in the video. But for now, let's just do this. My button, there's going to be a prop here. We'll get to it later. Let me make that component so we can get rid of the error. Close that. Components. My button.js. Let's make sure it's a JavaScript React file. Good. Let's do I think it's a function component. We'll see when we get there. So there. Just say my button for now. And exported, save. Let's import it up here. My button from, what was it, components / my button JS. And that should get rid of the error. Perfect. All right, for the first section, we'll do an unordered list, 3 things. Let's do affiliates. Then we'll do the careers. And then we'll do the privacy. Second section, 2 things. We'll do telephone and email. So li times 2. Give me telephone. Give me email. Let's do a space here. We're going to have some icons right here. And the third section, some socials. So we'll do li times 3. Let's do, what should we do? Instagram. Let's do a space here. We'll do a Twitter, then Facebook. Twitter, and then Facebook. All right, let's get some icons for these guys. Telephone, email, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Let's go with the telephone first. Telephone. So telephone, let's go with the mail. This guy right here. Let's go with the Instagram. This guy right here. Let's go with the Twitter. This guy right here. And then finally the Facebook. This guy right here. All right, this is the telephone. Copy this code, paste that here. Copy this code, paste that here. Instagram, copy, paste. This is Twitter. Copy, paste, and finally the Facebook. Copy and paste. And we can close all these guys. All right. And of course, it's not JavaScript, it's React, or HTML, it's React. So these are class names, not class name, and finally name. Let's see if it's on the page all the way down. So that's our contact section. Sign up for a newsletter, the input file or input field. We have the custom button, affiliates, careers, privacy, telephone, email, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. All right, so let's get these sections on the screen, the dimensions of the sections on the screen. Let me get rid of all of these inner elements, all the details, and we'll just deal with the sections first. So I can do something like this. Do Control/ take away all that. Good. Let's take away all of this. Comment that out. And take away all of this. Comment this out. All right, section 1, section 2, and section 3. Spell it all correctly. TION, TION. Yeah. All right, main styles. All right, so section 1, we'll do a width of 100 viewport width, we'll do a max width, 100%, and each section is going to be 550 pixels high. We'll do a position of, and so later on in the video when we actually do the parallax scrolling effect, this needs to be fixed. For now, we'll do relative. And let me write this down now. Yeah, I'll explain to you when we actually use it, but let me just write it so I don't forget it. We need a top property. It's going to be 0. It's going to be fixed to the top. We don't need this for the relative right now, so we'll just comment that out like that. Let's center all of the elements on screen in the section 1, justify center. We'll do align items center. And that reminds me, we need a Z index of -9. For now, we'll turn that off. Display, we'll do an overflow of hidden. Overflow hidden, and let's do a background color of red so you can see it. There, that's section 1. Let's do section 2 now. Section 2, same thing, width, 100 viewport width. We'll do a max width, 100%. And we'll do a height of 550 pixels. We'll do a position again, so it's going to be fixed when we do the parallaxing. For now, we'll do relative. Let's do a top. And so we want to start this. When this is fixed, it would we want to start it down here. So we just need a position using the top to start down here. So the height of this red guy is 550. So you want to start the second section 550 from the top. So it's just going to be 550 pixels like this. Actually, let me see if I can do this. Might need to change this later on, but for now we'll just do this. Px times 1, like that. And of course we don't need it, so let me do this. Z index, same thing. We want this on top of everything. Don't need that for now. Do we need to center anything? Display, justify? We don't. Just do a background color so you guys can see it. Orange. Save, go back. That's section 2. Let's do section 3. So that's section 3. Same thing. Width, 100 viewport width. Max width, 100%. We'll do a height of 550 pixels, and we'll do a position relative for now. The top's going to be that calculation, so 550 pixels times 2. Don't need that. Z index, I don't think we need to handle it on this one. Let me center everything in a column for section 3. So display, we'll do flex, we'll do flex direction of column. We'll do a justify content, flex end for this one, and align item center for this one, and a background color of, what did we do? I think it was 676 B89, B80. Should be a gray color. Yeah, there we go. All right, so section 1, 2, and 3 are laid down. Let's go section by section and do all of the internals of the sections. All right, so let's go section by section and get these children all styled up. So let's do section 1 first. So let's uncomment all of this stuff. And let's do side by side so you guys can see it transform in real time. So main styles. Let's get some commenting going here. Let's do a section 1 children like that. All right, let's start with the greeting, that welcome message. The position of absolute, and we want this message to be overlaid on top of all of the images in section 1. So we'll do the Z index of like 99. Let's up the font size. Let's say 130 pixels. Let's do a color of white. And let's position it like this. Top 35%, left 50%. With a transform, translate of -50, -50. All right, looks good. Might change that in the future. Maybe be too high, but we'll see. All right, let me copy and paste all of the CSS for the images. It's just their positions and their sizes. I can't remember it all. So all of this stuff right here. Let's do a Control V, Control S. Those are the images. And for this project, we didn't say space background. We just said space. And we didn't say, did we say planet 1 or planet? We said planet, so not planet 1. Planet Earth is good. Rocket ship. We said rocket, not rocket ship. Save, and everything should be on screen like that. And so the positions are absolute for now. They're going to be fixed when we have the parallaxing. So let me do that right here as well. Position POSATION fixed. And comment that out. Okay, that's good for section 1. Let's move on to section 2. So let me copy this. Section 2, children. Let me uncomment all of these elements right here. Uncomment all of this. And let's begin here. So let's start with the curves, or should we start with the section 2 container? Let's start with the curves first, I guess. So the curve on the top. So let's do a position of absolute. Let's do a width of 100%. A height, we'll play with the height. We'll say, for now, we'll say, let's say viewport width, 5 viewport width. And we'll translate in a second. So we can't see it because this thing is taking up all the space. Or is it this right here? Let me try taking, is that index 99? That's good. It might be the container. So let me do the container first. I need to get this image out of the way. So let's say it was section 2 container. I'll just say width of 100%. So take up all of section 2, 100%. Let's say a height of 100% as well. And we're just going to center every item. I'm going to flex on a row. So justify center, justify content center, align items center, save, and let's get that image smaller for now. We'll do a width of, I think it's going to be 80%, but let's just do 20% for now. A height of auto. Let's see what that looks like. All right, so that's I think it's the first one. It's just the bottom section curve top. All right, let's go to the position absolute. The curve bottom is just the exact same thing. It's just on the bottom. So let's do this. Bottom. Curve top, curve bottom, width, position. Where are those curves? Section 2, this guy right here. So that guy's at the top. We need to translate that on the Y, and this guy's at the bottom. All right, let me try this. Transform, translate on the Y. We'll say negative 100%. See what that looks like. That looks pretty good. Okay, where's the second curve? Maybe that's already there. I think it's already there, just very faint. Let me do this. Yeah, so it's right there. Just a very faint curve on the bottom, but you can see it. All right, so the curves are done. Those are done. Section 2 container is done. Let's do a padding here. Let's say 30 pixels. Looks good. Let's do the image. We'll get to in a second. Let's do left side, right side. So left side, we'll say background color so you guys can see it. Red, and we'll say right side. We'll do purple. Right side and purple. So let's do a width of 50%. So each side's 50%. Let's do a height of 100%. And let's center the text in that. Actually, let's do this first. Copy those two. Place that there. There we go. Let's center everything in that, in the sides. So let's do a display of flex. Justify center. And align item center. And we'll do the same for the right side. Copy. We'll paste. Okay, let's get to the image. I think it was 80%. Yeah. Let's round it out. So let's do a border radius of 50%. And let's add a shadow to that. So box shadow. So 0 offset on the X, 0 offset on the Y. We'll do a 10 pixel blur. And then we'll do a 5 pixel spread, the black shadow. There we go. Let's get rid of these colors. There we go. Okay, looks good. Did I miss anything? Image, right side, left side, section 2 container, curve bottom, curve top. No, looks good. All right, section 3. Let's copy. Let's paste right here. And what are we doing in section 3? We have, what do we have in section 3? Columns, that's good. So we have a piece of text, we have the input, the my button, we'll get to the custom component afterwards. We have the context section, and then we have the context container. Then we have context section, 3 of those guys. All right, so let's increase the size of this font first. So let's go to section 3 up here, and we'll just do a font size of, let's do 20 pixels, looks like. Yeah, we'll keep that. Might be 22, but we'll keep 20. All right, so let's do the input field next. So let's go down here, right here. So that was, what class was that? That was, where are you? Input underscore email. So dot input email. Let's do a width of 60%. Let's do percent. Let's do a height of 60 pixels. Let's do a padding margin. Let's do a margin. Top and bottom, yeah, we'll do 10 pixels. 0 on the left and right. And let me see this. Let's get rid of the outline. The text is kind of small. We'll up that. So the padding of 10 pixels. Let's get rid of the outline. None. So when you click on it, there's no outline. Let's get a border going. So border, 1 pixel, solid black. Good, and let's do a border radius of 3 pixels. Looks good. That button should probably be on the side there. No, we'll keep it there. Okay, that's the input email. Text is kind of small. Let me up that. Let's do a font size of, let's see what 20 looks like. Let's go a bit larger than that. Let's go 25. Yeah, looks good. That sign up for a newsletter looks kind of small. Let's increase that. Let me do this. Yeah, it looks way too small. Let's increase that font size. Section 3, font size. Let's go 30. Too large. Div. These will be custom. We're going to change the font size of these guys. So let's change the font size of these guys, and that'll bring these guys down, hopefully. We'll see. Let's do this. So that was the input email. The my button's going to be handled later. Let's do the contacts now. So contacts. We'll do a width of 100%. We'll do a height of 30%. That looks good. Height of 30%. And let's do a display of flex. We will do a, let's not center them. Let's go to the left. So flex start. You can do whatever you want. We're going to start on the left side here. Flex start. And what should we do? Let's do a color of white. Let's do a background color. Should we do background? Yeah, background. Background color of, and that was 303443. Good. Let's do a box shadow. 0 offset on the X, 0 offset on the Y. We'll do a 5 pixel blur with a 0 spread, and that same color, 303443. There we go. Slight shadow there. Okay, let's do, what should we do? Let's move these guys down slightly. So let's do a margin top here. Margin top 110. 110. Or move that away. All right, let's go to the contact section. Lower the font size. Section. Let's do a font size of 22. See what that looks like. Looks better. Let's space these sections out. Let me do this. Let me space those sections out. We'll do a margin, 0 top and bottom, and we'll do 20 or 10. Let's do 20, see what that looks like. Okay. Let's do a width each of 200 pixels. Let's do a height 100%. And font size looks good. Color That looks good. Might want to do something like this though. 15. Yeah, it looks better. All right, sign up for a newsletter. That's a good size. This a bit too large, a bit too high on that. Let's change that. Let's go 50. See what that looks like. That's better. All right, so it's section 1. That's section 2. Section 3, sign up. We're going to do this next. And that's part of section 3. And these guys should be cursors if they're links. Yeah, we can do that later if we do like a React router. We're not doing it for this video, but if we did React router DOM, we just wrap these guys in links, and so it would do a cursor automatically instead of this this text stuff where you can select the button like that. All right, so let me copy and paste the mobile code. There's no point in me just writing it for you guys off the rip. So when we go below, I think 500, let's see what it says. Right here. Anything below 501, we're going to just reconfigure the position sizings for everything. So let me copy this, paste that here, save that here. All right, so what we're saying is anything below 501 for the section 1 greeting, we're just going to increase. Yeah, we decrease because it was 130. So we decrease the font for that greeting. We reorient the Earth, the rocket, not rocket ship. We reorient the Earth, we resize the rocket, we resize the satellite. For section 2, we flip everything to a column. Right now this is a row. We're going to go to columns when we go to mobile. Left side, right side, is they kind of invert their dimensions. It was 50 for the width, 100 for the height, but for mobile it's 100 for the width, 50 for the height. Image, auto, perfect, contact, section, margin, fit contact. Font size. All right, see if it works. Let's do this. Give me this one. Throw it here. Like that. And we go mobile. And we get this. So that's section 1. That's section 2. Reconfigured to a column, not a row, a flex row. And this is good. That stays the same size. We're going to do this. And those guys shrink. Let me see this though. Let me see if we go to the smallest mobile that we have. If it screws up. All right. So this needs to be centered. So let's go to the style sheet right here. That should be a text align. So align items is good for actual elements on the page. If you want to center text, you need a text align. That was in what? That was section 3. Contacts right here. Let's see if, no, it shouldn't be there. It should be up here then. Align items, we'll do a text align center. That should work. There we go. All right, that's the smallest we can go for mobile. That's good, that's good, that's a good font. That's a good font, and these things aren't being cut off. If we go this small, it just breaks. All right, so we have all the positioning done for desktop and mobile. That right there, see that little space? So let's fix that. The curve top, translate negative 100, 100. For now, let's do negative 99. It's just too high. There we go, that closes that. And is there a problem with the bottom one? No. All right, so we have the positioning sizes, all stuff laid out for the desktop and the mobile. Let's move on to the custom button, and then we're going to import our little wrapper. And we're going to make all of this stuff scroll at different speeds so it creates that parallax effect. All right, so let's write up that button component. So we have the JS file. We need a style sheet for it. So let's create a file for that. Call it the my button underscore styles.css. Okay, my button styles. Let's import it before I forget. That would be dot slash style slash my button styles.css. And we're going to need the props. The props is just going to be the name of the button, the text inside the button. So let's pass that in right now. So in the app.js, we'll just do we'll call it the name. And this will just be a sign up like that. All right, app, button. We'll get to this in a second. All right, so let's destroy these 3 lines. Make sure this is JavaScript React. All right, so button container. Within that, we have the actual button. So we'll say div.my_button. In there, just a span with the name. So props.name like that. Also in that button container, the image for the button, we'll call it the button image. And /images/ we use the rocket.png. And these classes are going to be my button plus a different class depending on the value of a variable. So it's going to be like this, a ternary. So we'll set it up like this, string interpolation. It should be a tilde. There we go. Same thing with this guy. There we go. All right. So let's, when we click this button on click, we'll call a function to flip the variable. So we'll call this function, what are we going to call it? Let's call it button clicked. Let's write that function out. We're going to use some hooks for this. So button clicked. And all we're going to do in this function is set click to true. So set clicked to true. Let's use some state. So use state. And let's instantiate the state. We'll call this variable clicked. The function to set it is set clicked. And let's instantiate it, use state with a false. And so once this is clicked, it's going to run an animation based on a class. That animation takes about 2 seconds. So after 2 seconds, we're going to reset the button. So we're just going to do this, set timeout. And about 2 seconds, so 200 or 2000 milliseconds, we're just going to set clicked back to false. False like that. So let's use this variable right here. So class my button as well as another class. So if clicked is equal to true, we want the class clicked. That's the name of the class that's associated with the animation. Else we'll just do a false. Or excuse me, a null. Same thing here. Clicked is true, we'll call this class launch rocket. Else, don't give me a class, just do a null. All right, looks good. Props, style sheet, hooks, function, click, props.name, proper, my button clicked, button image, arts, style this guy. And I noticed this right here. See how it's cutting off? Let's fix that by shrinking the image. So let's go to main styles. Where is it? It's section 2, right? Section 2 children should be image right here. Let's go, what does 70% look like? There we go, that's good. All right, so let's style the button, and the button should show here. So let's go half-half on the screen. Control B. Let's start with the, what do we do? Button container, my button, button image, and then we'll do the animations. So button container, button underscore container. We'll just do a position of relative, and we'll just center everything in the button container. Flex, justify, center, line item center. Next up is the my button. We'll do a width of, it was 200 pixels. We'll do a height of 50 pixels. And we'll do a background color of orange. We'll do a border radius of 3. A cursor of pointer. And there we go. Let me center the text in there. So let me just copy these 3 lines instead of writing it. Copy that, paste that, save. All right, let's get to the image. That was a button image. We'll do a width of 100 pixels, a height of the same, so 100 pixels as well. Let's see what that looks like. That's good. We'll do a position of absolute, because we want this thing flying off the screen, so we have to move it outside the box. So position absolute, and we'll do a, should be a margin on that. No. Actually, yeah, let's do that. Let's see what that looks like. Margin top, 10 pixels. Yeah, whatever. It's good. Position absolute, and we start it with a transform, a scale of 0. So it starts kind of disappeared. When we run the animation, it'll pop in and then shoot off to the it goes to the right or the left. We'll see. So we have the button container, we have the button image, cursor over the button, which is good. Now let me just copy and paste the animations, because I can't remember all of this. So control copy. Let's do a control paste. Delete some spacing issues. All right, so this is the animation for the clicked. The animation name lasts for 0.2 seconds. Ease in, fill mode is forwards, and it just starts at, so this button is going to start at a scale of 1, so where it is, it's going to blow up to 1.3 and then go down to 0. So it's going to blow up, expand, and then contract to 0. We have the opposite with the launch rocket, 1.7 seconds. There's a delay. There should be a delay. I don't think there should be a delay. We'll see. We'll see how it looks. So it starts at the scale of 0. It blows up to 1.5. It goes to 1, so it's normal scale. And then we just move it. Where do we move it? To the right, 150 viewport width, and up 190 while rotating. So let's see if this works. Control S, click this. There we go, something like that. F5 it. And as you can see, the button resets. So set clicked is equal to false, or clicked is equal to true here. Clicked is true, clicked is false. All right, so that's the button. Pretty easy. Let me expand this. All that's left to do is make this thing parallax. And so let me import the function for that. And so it should be on my desktop. Let's do this, and it should be right here. Let's go to, where am I working here? I think it was in the work folder. Yeah. Boilerplate, source, components. And I'm not going to go over the code for this. I did a video on that. I'll link it in the description below. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a card on the top right. We're just going to use it here. I'll explain how it works briefly. Close that. Let's go back here. Do we have it? Good. So let's import it in the app. So I'm just going to do one element, and I'm just going to copy and paste the rest. Actually, no. I'll do one element, I'll walk you through it, and then I'm just going to go through it quickly. So in the app.js, we're going to import this little function here called Parallax Jsx Wrapper. So we'll go up here. Let's import it up top. We'll just call it the Parallax Jsx Wrapper. And that's going to be from and components parallax.js. So how it works is you just fix an element to the screen. So let's do the welcome message. Actually, let's do the space. Let's go in order. So this space first. So space.png, we'll go to the style sheet. Space. Position is now fixed instead of absolute. Save that, go back, and close this. We go into our function here, and let's call this one space, like that. Capital S, because it's going to be a class component. This guy returns a class component. So space is equal to Parallax JS Wrapper. It takes two arguments. The first is the actual element you want to parallax. So what we could do is just copy this, Control C, Control V. The second argument is the weight of that element. The lower the number, the slower the thing scrolls. The higher the number, the faster the thing. And for this one, I said the weight was 0.02. So 0.02, which means we can take this out. So you can comment that code out and just replace it with the returned class component like this. Space, like that. So we save, we go back, we F5 this, we scroll, and the stars should scroll slowly like that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for this planet, for this welcome sign, satellite, rocket, Earth, and for the entirety of section 2 and section 3. So I'll probably just fast forward this part of the video. All right, so I've just gone ahead and converted all of these guys into parallaxed class components: space, Earth, planet, rocket, satellite, reading section 2. So the entirety of section 2, as well as the entirety of section 3 right there. And I've just used them here: space, Earth, planet, rocket, section 2 is here, section 3. Just to give us a final product that looks like this. We do an F5. So when we scroll down, we just get this effect here where everything's scrolling at a different pace, and just get this effect here where everything's scrolling at a different pace, and it's nicely animated. So just a bit of flair for a very basic React website. So that's going to do it for the video. Leave a like, it helps the channel grow. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and I will see you guys in the next one.